Solving a word problem using a system of linear equations of the form y equals mx plus b. Amy will rent a car for the weekend. She can choose one of two plans. The first plan has an initial fee of $40 and costs an additional 50 cents per mile driven. The second plan has no initial fee but costs 70 cents per mile driven. For what amount of driving do the plans cost the same? What is the cost when the two plans cost the same? So these are two separate questions. And the first thing you want to do in any word problem is translate some of the words into a mathematical symbol. We certainly want to use a variable here. Why don't we use the cost? Let's use the words the cost of a plan. The cost of a plan is the letter capital C. Let's say the number of miles driven is lowercase x. So we really have two different functions here. We have two cost functions. We could say c of x is equal to, let's go back and read the problem. Let's see what the first plan says. The first plan has an initial fee of $40 and costs an additional 50 cents per mile driven. So that's simply a fixed cost of $40 plus 50 cents per mile driven. So that's half an x, or 0.5x, 0.5 times x. Because remember, x is the number of miles, right? If you've driven 3 miles, then you multiply 3 times 0.5 and you get $1.50. So that really makes sense. What's the second plan? Well, the second plan is also a cost function. It's could be represented as c of x is equal to no fixed cost, but it costs you 70 cents per mile driven. So it's going to be 0.70 times x, or 0.7 times x. Now I did make a little tiny mistake here. These two functions are different, so I shouldn't use the same variable. So why don't I use c sub 1 and then c sub 2? It does ask, for what amount of driving do the plans cost the same? In other words, in order to answer this, we simply set c1 of x is equal to c2 of x. And we'll go ahead and solve that equation. What is c1 of x equal to c2 of x? That is 40 plus 0.5x is equal to 0.7x. So 40 is equal to 0.2x, which is 2/10 x. Let me erase that decimal there. There we go. And of course that is 1/5, so you multiply both sides by 5, we're in good shape. So we finally get 200 is now equal to x. Now, what are the units? Is it 200 pesos? Is it 200 seconds? Is it 200 feet? You know, for what amount of driving do the two plans cost the same? The plans cost the same when 200 miles are driven. So it's always nice to write an answer in a complete sentence. That way you don't miss labeling the units. What is the cost when the two plans cost the same? We need to find C1 or C2. In other words, we need to evaluate C1 at 200. So take your C1 function and simply evaluate it at 200. And that's the beauty of function notation. We get what? 40 plus 100, and we get 140. Is it rupees? Is it pesos? Is it Hong Kong dollars? No, it's actually US dollars. The cost when the plans cost the same is $140. Circle your final answer. Make sure you show your work neatly.